Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a quick video just giving my thoughts on a new series I just started on Sci-Fi called Blood Drive. It stars Ritchson, Christina Ochoa, Dominique, and as well as Colin Cunningham, just to name a few. And like I said, just started on Sci-Fi, and this is a series you'd be surprised is on Sci-Fi. It definitely feels more of a it'd be more of a thing that like Stars or HBO or something like that would have, or even like a smaller network that isn't as like confined to certain restrictions. But I'm surprised Sci-Fi is letting the show get away with some of the stuff they're doing. It's I'll just say it's a very violent show. It definitely has like your Robert Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino vibes to it, and just as in the style, the violence, just a lot of different things about it definitely have that echo for it. So think like like Machete or just different grindhouse films like that. And I remember seeing the name of the show pop up like months ago, but then I forgot about it for some reason. And then I seen like some kind of article pop up about it on Facebook, and I'm like, holy shit! Why have I not checked this out yet? Because it really could be a kind of show that I could really get into. Because it's kind of like over stylized. It's sort of trying to be. It's one of those things that's trying to be bad in a way. You know what I mean? It's not trying to go for any like Emmy awards or anything like that. This is the style of it. They know what kind of show they're trying to be. So it's hard to criticize something if they're presenting things a certain way on purpose. But I'll briefly explain to you the plot or the basis of the show. I'll just read some stuff to you off of IMDb. Set in a near-dystopian future, the series features a former cop who is forced to take part in a death race in which cars run on human blood as fuel. Grace is a street racer on the open road whose car runs on people. Arthur is a cop trying to make a better world every day. They get thrown together in a race, an event from Los Angeles to Phoenix, which the loser loses their lives. I guess that's a typo there. Along the way they encounter psychos, freaks, and innocents. Arthur wants to do right, but the rules don't allow his moral code to exist. Grace finally convinces Arthur it's a do-or-die race. They must band together or forfeit their lives. Will they finish last, only to die? Will Grace do anything to win? Who feeds the car next? So it's kind of the setup for the show. Like I said, I read, it is a near-dystopian future. I guess it takes place in 1999 or something like that. It's just this reality where civilization's kind of broken down. It's a lot more lawless and everything like that. And Grace, she's kind of like some places I've described her as like a femme fatale type of thing, or she's kind of like an anti-hero, I guess, but she's really not a bad person. She has motivations that are kind of personal to her in the show, and so besides being like a horror fan, there are definitely like horror elements in this, just with some of the things that are out there, because there's like monsters, there's like these mutants, that there's cannibals, things like that. So I was kind of drawn to it because of that, and Christina Ochoa, because I've been seeing some of her work lately, and I do like her. She's also going to be in a new CW series coming up this fall called Valor, which I'm interested in checking out, and found it pretty fitting that she's in this as well. Two very different types of shows already, very clearly. But I watched the first 3 episodes, and like I said, overall it's hard to critique something that's trying to be a certain way. But how much do I like it so far? I do like it. I think it's a fine enough time for what it's going for. I know it's not going to appeal to everyone. I know it's not like everyone's really cup of tea what they're trying to do with it. But for me, I feel like it's a good kind of diversion type of show. I don't think the world of it. Again, I know it's hard to critique something when it's trying to be bad in a certain way. But certain things about it work more than others. Like I said, I do like Christina Ochoa, though. I think her character is pretty dynamic, and she brings a fairly charismatic performance to it that I like. I like watching her on the screen. She's a pretty badass to follow, but of course she has her reasonings and vulnerabilities and everything like that, whether she says it or not. And Arthur, played by I forget again somehow. Alan Ritchson, he's all right. He's kind of a pretty bland for a lead, which is why he should focus on Christina Ochoa's character Grace. But he's not bad, and I do kind of like her. I mean, him and Grace's back and forth with each other. I could see him getting better as it goes. He's definitely not bad. I've definitely seen less interesting actors on shows like this, and again, it's hard to really dive into the critical points of it all. And then you have Colin Cunningham. He's very over the top, probably the most over the top character on the show. He's the one running this whole death race thing, as a Julian Slink. But he's kind of fun to watch, I'll admit. And the 3 episodes we've gotten so far, the first one is called The Effing Cop, or The Fucking Cop. The second one was called Welcome to Pixie Swallow, and the one we just had back on June 28th was Steel City Nightfall. And the upcoming episode is called In the Crimson Halls of Cane Hill. I thought the first episode was actually pretty good. They've all been pretty consistent so far. They all kind of flow together pretty well for what they are, I think. My favorite episode so far, it's kind of close between, probably Welcome to Pixie Swallow and Steel City Nightfall. I just like the whole cannibal diner setup in episode 2. That was cannibals were one of the things I was looking forward to most about the show when I, was reading about it. And, it's definitely a pretty fun scenario there. And then I like Steel City Nightfall, because you get, these mutants that are, drawn to this gasoline type stuff, and, they're vulnerable to light and everything. So, again, it's one of those little horror things I was eager to see the show play on. Like I said, although I think Alan Ritchson and his character is a bit dull, that is kind of on purpose. That's the kind of character he's playing right now. I do like him and Christina Ochoa's chemistry together. I actually think they're fun to watch and banter. And there's been like little bits here and there that I can tell that of course Grace has this nickname for him, Barbie, just the way he looks and everything, and like how morally just he's he makes himself out to be. She calls him Barbie, but you can tell she's trying to get kind of attached to him. And they did have to fuck their way out of a pretty bad situation, which is to raise the adrenaline and just the energy and the dramatics, so they could stop the kill chip basically they have that inside them. And then there's more going on with Grace as well. Her sister is apparently at this asylum, which is going to be covered in the next episode, I think. But of course, Arthur kind of questions her why she's still in there, why Grace left her there or whatever. So that should be interesting. I'm sure there's more to that. But again, it's hard to dive in. It's not trying to be this great, storytelling or deep, complex plot type of thing either. But I think it's fairly engaging, again, for the style of show it is. It is really violent. Definitely the most violent show on Sci-Fi, easily more violent than Z Nation, Van Helsing, stuff like that. It's kind of on par with The Walking Dead, I guess. The Walking Dead at its worst. Except this, tries to be cheesy even with its violence at some points. But it does really go for it. I'm still surprised Sci-Fi has a show like this. What is fun, if I had to rate the show overall so far, I don't know if I don't know how high I'd rate it right now. It's just kind of a different kind of show to talk about. I'd probably give it around a 7.3, 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10 at my max enjoyment so far. It is what it is. I do have fun with it, I'm not gonna lie, but again, it's not the greatest quality thing either, and that's kind of on purpose too. But I do think it's kind of worth watching. Like I said, it's kind of a diversion type of show for me, but I do like it. I think I will keep watching it. And if I do, I think I will probably try to do some videos on it, because it's kind of it is a fairly unique show, I'll give it that. So let me know what you guys think about it if you've watched it so far. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.